And our next match on this main table brings together Billy Thorpe and Alex Kazakis. Billy straight back on. Good day for him so far, Carl.
Yeah, we've seen Billy in action now quite a while, and you know, he's had his ups and downs in this tournament so far, but one thing he does, he keeps fighting until the end, and that's what you've got to do in the group format. He keeps fighting till the end, and so does his opponent, Alex Kazakis from Greece. This is a good matchup, this. Interested to see how this one pans out. Both guys have represented Europe and USA in the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah, Thorpe has really turned it round. It wasn't going great for him yesterday. He had only won one match by the time he had played four, but he really turned it round after that. Needed to win his last two matches in the round-robin section. Indeed, he was in danger of potentially going out of the tournament altogether, but he got the two wins, got him into the semi-finals, and just like in the other group semi-final he was in earlier in the week, it went hill-hill. Lost to David Alcady at that stage on Wednesday. Last night it was against Roberto Gomez. But he's picked up today from the good finish he had to yesterday's play, and he starts us off in this one.
Nice break off there. Controlled the cue ball, but it looks dry. Not seen many dry breaks, but we spoke about this on day one. This table has had a lot of play time now, so the balls will get a little bit harder to rack, and you know, the clock's going to start playing a little bit different from day one till, well, we're on day 6, so is that a sign of things to come? Kazakis is playing a billiard. He's flicking off the edge of the one to try and pot the brown 7. And he got that shot right, but the position didn't come out great. Now, he's either going to play a lock-up safety, or I feel like he should play the bank shot. It's not a difficult bank shot. He either goes full-blooded for this and gets the cue ball right out for the 2, or he could play the cue ball in behind the pink as a bit of insurance. We'll see what he chooses to do. Full-blooded it was, but he's completely lost the cue ball there. Should have been nowhere near the 2. Has he been fortunate? Has he landed straight on this 2 into the side? Over on table 2, Kasper Matakainen, who's had a bit of a nightmare day so far. He's about to go on the hill against last night's beaten finalist.
Yeah, simple 9-ball for Matakainen to go 4-2 up on Roberto Gomez. It was a shocker of a performance earlier, let's be fair about it, from Matakainen, as he lost 5-0 against Kazakis. Played a bit better against Alban Ocean, but still heavily beaten 5-1. And a win there against the man from the Philippines could turn his day around massively, so we'll keep you posted on that one. Back here, Kazakis looking to get off to a winning start in this match. He's already made a winning start in the group. Didn't have to play brilliantly to beat Matakainen. I think the man from Finland beat himself to a large extent, but not entirely surprising given his lack of experience in this sort of environment.
Yeah, he landed a little bit straight on the red 3, so he had to play a stun follow through with side, and he's under it this now, so if he pots this 4, the cue ball's going into the 9. So will he play another bank shot? He's already played one bank shot into this pocket in this rack. He's either playing the bank or he's going to try and draw off the 9. He's playing the bank, and it has to be said, he's pretty good at the old bank shot, is Kazakis.
Yeah, well, it's Billy Banker, isn't it? He's the one with the reputation, but he's getting a taste of his own medicine here. 29 years of age, Alex Kazakis. He hits his 30s in July this year. We were talking during this match earlier about some of his early successes. been a semi-finalist in the World 9-ball back in 2018 and went hill-hill against Joshua Filler, the eventual champion. Went down 11-10. And then, of course, he went so close in the World Masters match we always talk about, the final against David O'Cady when he was 5-0 up. He was flying along. He'd beaten Skylar Woodward 8-1 in the semi-finals. But from that strong position in the final, he ended up losing 9-8 to O'Cady, who made that famous full table bank shot on the winning 9-ball.
Yeah, he's looking good though. I mean, he played a wonderful shot to get on the 6 there. He had to pinch a bit of the pocket and purposely played for the 6 in the corner. He's just potted it in. So I expect good things from Kazakis. I think he will qualify for the final day. And who knows, Michael, maybe this is Kazakis' time to shine.
Yeah, I think it helped him that his first match was against Kasper Matikainen. Just didn't look quite with it. Missed an easy 1-ball early on, and it sort of set the tone for the match. And you don't want to quite say he was gifted an opening win, but it wasn't the hardest earned victory. And of course that now puts him in a position where if he can win this match, he'll already be well placed to go through to the semi-finals.
There you see Kazakis just about to pull the balls out. That's a bit of a thing the players always do after the rack. You know, the pocket the near, as they start walking back to the chair, they just get the balls out and throw them down for the referee. But, you know, we're trying to be COVID safe and just let the referee do his job and get the balls out. But sometimes you're going to forget. Old habits die hard.
I think we were talking about this the other day, or maybe it was with someone else. I don't think it's a good idea for the players, even outside of COVID times, because they're naturally going to be perspiring. That gets onto the balls. And I think that contributes maybe to getting bad contact sometimes.
Yeah, the old kick in Q Sports, it's been a bit of a baffling thing over the years, hasn't it? But I think there's a new brand of chalk out and a lot of the players are using it, and well, kicks seem to have almost disappeared really. It used to be a big thing back in the 80s. Kazakis does get this rack underway. Not many players are breaking from that side of the table. Not sure why. Just if you're right-handed, you seem to break from the left side of the table, and if you're left-handed, you seem to break from the left side of the table. So problems though. He's got the cue ball on the top rail, and the 1-ball doesn't pot, so he's going to be playing safe.
Kasper Matikainen's day just got a whole lot better. He has now beaten Roberto Gomez by 5 racks to 2. He'd only won 1 rack in total across his first 2 matches. So Matikainen at last really up and running now in Group 6. Oh, nicely done there. Coming off the 1 to flick the 6 in, but he's not had the luck. Unless, can he get through to the 1 here?
I think it's fair to say, Michael, Billy Thorpe's growing into this event as time goes on.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, he wasn't feeling great early on in the week. It may have had something to do with jet lag. But he came into the commentary box for a very enjoyable stint yesterday and saying he was feeling much better. And it's showing.
Did he behave himself?
He was wonderful. Frankly, Carl, you need to stay on your toes because I think we've got a ready-made replacement.
So we're going to see a bank shot here into the corner. The corner where the cue ball is, where Kazakis' hand is. That's the shot he's playing, and this is pretty much at this level. You'd be fuming if you miss this bank shot, it's fair to say. Table 2, Gomez Auschen will get underway shortly. Of course, we will keep you updated on the scores. So Kazakis is playing Billy the Banker, but Kazakis has made his first 3 banks of the match.
I think he's doing so much banking, he belongs not in Milton Keynes, but on Wall Street.
Now he's playing left-handed.
We've said it about so many players. His career was really stopped in its tracks by COVID, because by the end of 2019 he'd won over $120,000 in 2 years, and he had some good results in the limited activity there was in 2020. He was runner-up to Shane Van Boening at the Turning Stone Classic in New York back in January last year. He was 6-3 up, lost 10 racks in a row as Van Boening won 13-6. But he was really building momentum in his career, and like so many others, that all got halted.
Yeah, good news for Kazakis and the other pool players. Matchroom have come out with a bang this year, and they've put on this great new event with the help of Predator Qs, of course.
So a fine start for Kazakis, not just to the match, but to the group. 7 racks played. Seven racks won. Easy game for him at the moment. He leads Billy Thorpe by 2 racks to 0. Word about Matchroom then, Carl. He's going to be feeling much better about life now. Really struggled to settle in those first 2 matches. But that all changes once you've got a win.
Yeah, and in some ways it was kind of, I think, a good thing that it was, you know, on the other table. This is the main table. So Table 2's got a bit of a different feel to it. Still a wonderful arena, of course, but, you know, this is the main focus. We're commentating on Table 1 as well. So I think it was a good thing he was over there. He can just relax a little bit, and good news is he's got his first win, so now he knows where he'll stand in the table. He's still got 3 matches left, so he's not in the worst of spots, is he?
Yeah, going under the radar a bit in that match, as they say in the States.
There's Billy Thorpe.
Just looking at that match briefly from the point of view of Roberto Gomez, who got off to such a flying start yesterday, but now he's lost his first 2 today, and he's straight back on that table to play Albin Ocean in just a few minutes. Back here, Billy Thorpe starts us off in rack 3.
I'm glad to see Billy Thorpe here. He's had a few recent issues in his life, and you know, hopefully all that can be put behind him, and I'm glad Matchroom, you know, invited him over to the UK to play in this event, and of course he couldn't wait to get here and, you know, show people his true character and how good he plays this game as well. And he's grinded these 3 days, hasn't he, Michael?
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it's not been easy for him at times. He won his last 2 matches in the first group he was involved in on Wednesday to get himself into the semi-finals and almost beat David Al-Qaedi, who won all his matches that day. And then a bit of a struggle on Thursday as well. Did just enough to hang on, finishing 6th place, which was just enough to get him in for yesterday's group, in which, as I said, didn't start very well, but had a really positive attitude actually to the whole thing, and knew he had to dig in, wanted to prolong his involvement in the tournament, and managed to do that. Again came within a rack of getting to the group final. And given the start he made to yesterday, Carl, I think he's just pleased to still be here.
Yeah, I think you're right. survived a little bit of a scare against Christina to catch last night. He had to win 2 racks, I believe it was, to stay in the event, which obviously he won the match, and that put him up to the semi-final. So that shows you what can happen in this format, how brutal it can be, and you know how much a match win can help your cause in the group.
Well, in the space of about 2 or 3 hours last night, he went from bottom of the table to within 1 rack of a place in the group final.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I've noticed about Billy as well. There's a couple of types of players we have on tour. Billy falls into that bracket of, like, I would put him in a similar bracket to Chris Melling, where the cue ball's not as tight. So if you look at like a Niels and an Albin Ocean and a Ralph Souquet, the cue ball it's better. They always seem to land better on the right side, catches one of them. Billy's a little bit more looser, so he always has to seem to come with a shot, and it's quite easy on the eye. Melling's much like that. See what I mean? Like in this rack, he's run out of position 4 times. Melling's very much the same, and the fans of pool, they seem to prefer that style, because somebody like Ralph Souquet, it might come across like it's a bit boring to watch, but it's because it's such a clinic. Because his cue ball is just, well, it's silly. It's that good.
I know what you mean. It's a bit like Sevi Ballesteros in golf. People like to see the best players struggling, but battling against it and overcoming the odds, it makes them feel like one of them, really. But eventually it will catch up with you sometimes, and it has caught up with Thorpe there.
Yeah, and he's known as Billy the Banker, and he's missed about 5 banks out of 6 since he's been here, so I think we need a new nickname, Michael.
Well, real-life bankers don't have a great reputation these days, of course, so maybe it's appropriate. But Alex Kazakis is zipping along here. He still hasn't lost a rack. 5-0 winner of his first match. $3-0 up in his second, and he'll be breaking in rack 4 when we come back.
Maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Albin Ocean.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
Springtime in England and the pool living is easy for Alex Kazakis so far. It's all come very handily to him today. Won his first match 5-0 and 3-0 up now in his second against the in-form Billy Thorpe. And the man from Greece has the break in the next rack. He knows how to get the job done, you know. 2018, he won 5 tournaments of various sizes, including his first Euro Tour title at the Austrian Open. Beat Dennis Grabe in the final. Only 5 players in the whole world earned more prize money than Kazakis that year.
There you can see the sneaky photographer just over Kazakis' shoulder taking the pictures. This was a poor break, lost the cue ball, but it's going to be one of them that turns out okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And it's such a cliche to say it, but it's become a cliche because it's true. For whatever reason, when things are going your way, and everything's going his way today, you get these little flicks.
Interested to see if the pink 4 does pot. There you can see it on the bottom right of the table, tied up with the 8 ball. If it does, it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on the green 6, but we'll see how that unfolds. There's a very sneaky photographer over Billy Thorpe's shoulder. He just keeps popping up and down and up.
Well, he was in here earlier. That's JP from Paris, and when Jasmine was in the box with me earlier, he just appeared out of nowhere to start taking pictures. A regular on the pool scene these days, JP.
So if it doesn't go, he's got a couple of options. He could, I mean, he's made 3 banks already, so he might line up for the bank. He could actually play into it and knock him out, but he's going to need a little bit of luck where they land. But as my co-commentator has already alluded to, things are going his way. Does it pot? He could play the hook behind the 8, which would mean he plays a little stop shot. Cue ball runs forward a little bit and send the pink around the table. That's the shot he's tried and failed. Doesn't need this to hit the 7. It's not too bad, he's got away with that. Now Billy, he's in a little bit of trouble here. He might play the bank in the bottom left. Doubtful. He's probably going to chip off the edge of it, send the pink into the green. Cue ball's got a small chance of coming back down table on the back rail. Needs to miss the 7. Well, he did play the bank. Is this Billy's first bank? Great shot from Billy the banker.
Well, you were suggesting he needs a new nickname. I think you're a bit obsessed with nicknames this week, but it's all good fun. So you were going to suggest an alternative after he missed all those banks early on.
Well, I was, but that is one of the best banks he'll play in this event, so I think it's got to stick for now. But if he carries on having a mare, I think Billy Torpedo Thorpe.
Well, there's the swimmer as well, isn't there? Thorpe, he's known as Torpedo.
He's retired though, right?
Swimmers generally do retire very young. Pool players, on the other hand, go on forever.
Ralph Suke, 52 years of age, played in this event. Didn't play his best pool. Billy Thorpe, well,
he's not played his best shot.
No, and he's doing well in this group, so just decelerated there. Didn't deliver the cue through straight enough, and often you put a bit of unwanted spin on the cue ball and you can miss it. So Kazakis, it's been a little bit unfortunate where this ball's gone, but he's back at the table.
But this is the thing, isn't it? He's won every rack so far across 2 matches, but you wouldn't say he was playing out of his skin. It's just things are going his way. He's getting the little flicks here and there. His opponents are missing balls you wouldn't expect them to. He's playing well, but things are certainly helping him along.
In an exhibition, he would just bank this into the bottom left corner pocket because, well, you wouldn't really care if you missed, but obviously he doesn't want to play that shot now, but could just play safe. That's what he's doing. He's trying to get the 7 in behind the 9. As long as it doesn't clip the 9, well, it has to be said, the speed and the line of that shot was lovely. So Billy's kicking at this. Yeah, good shot. Play to hit it full. Whenever you hit the ball full like that, the cue ball often spins and stays in a similar area, and that's worked out lovely. Now, it's actually quite funny. Kazakis has got a David Alcadia. He's got a full-length bank, Michael. And he's missed it. Sometimes it goes over the left centre when you miss it. It's all about pace and it's creeped up. So Billy Thorpe, with the wonderful kick safe, has created an opportunity to get on the board in this match. He trails Kazakis 3 racks to 0. Can he win his first?
Naoki Oi on Thursday, it was the first group he'd played in, and he won his first 2 matches without losing a rack. Alex Kazakis got very close to emulating that, within 2 racks of it in fact. But it isn't going to happen now, because Billy Thorpe is off and running here. He's closed to 3-1 down, and he'll have the break in rack 5. Going to ask you about Kazakis, Carl. He's played in 2 Mosconi Cups. He was on the losing side both times, and I'm not asking you to give away any secrets here, but maybe just give us away a little bit of a secret. Was he in the running for a place in the team last time?
I think if... Well, I'm an honest guy. I'm honest.
That's why I'm asking you.
Right. He probably wasn't. His name was mentioned, but we just felt that because Europe had lost the last 2 and he looks a little bit shaky, it just wasn't the right time. We was in some ways blessed with the fact that we had 4 wild cards because of COVID. Of course, Fedor Gorst got the only you know,
automatic.
Yeah, automatic spot. So we got 4 wild cards. However, I would like to see Kazakis back in the team one day, and you know, be given that chance to go back out in that arena and perform how he can. Now, it would have been interesting if he was in the team last year, because there was no crowd, so there was still a lot of pressure on the guys, of course, but it's a different feeling with 3,000 intoxicated fans as opposed to no fans. So, to answer your question, no, he wasn't.
Okay.
Brutally honest, but you know, that's taking nothing away from him. It was just more, we've lost the last 2, we've got 4 wild cards, we want experience, we wanted guys who have done it and got good feelings, good performances, had the wins, won MVPs, won big doubles matches and all that type of thing.
Yeah, and his Mosconi Cup experiences weren't great. In his debut in 2018, on the final night, Europe had been 10-6 down, but they got back to 10-9 behind. Jason Shaw, Niels Fine and Eklund Kachi all won. So then it fell to Kazakis to try to make it 10-all and take it all to the last match, but he lost to Shane Van Boning, and USA had won the cup to end their run of 8 straight defeats.
Yeah, and in that match he didn't actually play too bad, to be fair. It was one of his better singles performances, and you know, having played in the event, I wouldn't fancy going out there at 10-9, let me tell you.
Well, he had a similar experience the next year, because he had a big final night singles against Van Boning again. Now, this wasn't quite as near the end, but it was a chance to level it up at 9-all, and he again lost by 5 racks to 3, and America did go on from there to win it for the 2nd year in a row. He only had 1 win from 5 singles and doubles matches that year. Kazakis still hasn't won a Mosconi Cup singles after 4 attempts. But back in the present day, he's going well here, and Thorpe has presented him with another good chance.
Yeah, I'm sure one day Alex Kazakis will get his redemption with the Mosconi Cup, and you know, a player of his calibre, you're not gonna, you know, you're gonna get off the board in your singles match. But he's been a bit unlucky. You just said there, he's played Shane twice. You know, when you're playing Shane Van Bonen, it's never going to be easy.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really expects that's going to be the end of Alex Kazakis and the Mosconi Cup. It would be astonishing if he didn't find himself back in the team, and very possibly on a regular basis in the future.
Yeah, the only issue is there's a lot of great players from Europe, so every year, you know, and obviously this year there's going to be some kind of qualification, isn't there? Because, you know, Matchroom have got all these events in place, so it's all good fun, and we'll sweat out all the events leading up to the end of the year. And
well, that's unexpected. Did he take his eye off the pot a little bit, thinking about getting down for the 5?
yeah, it was a poor miss in the end, to be honest, and he just keeps giving Billy that little bit of a carrot dangling. Oh, here you go, Billy, you can still stay in this match, pal. Billy will be playing safe, cue ball in behind the 8 off 2 rails. Billy Thorpe, all the American players, you know, very, very sound tactically. That's what I feel like over the years. What, you know, when I've watched or I've played them, tactically, they don't give nothing away. That's their strength, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree. And then you look at the Europeans, they're more about the shot making and the all-out potting, and you wonder why that is. I guess it's just the culture that you learn the game in, and these things develop, and then they become self-fulfilling. There's something going on the other table. I don't know what it is. It's Albin Ocean leading Roberto Gomez 1-0, and we're just keeping an eye on what's going on there. And we saw Roberto at the back of the arena being spoken to by Emily Fraser and Nick Teal, effectively the event organisers here, and play still hasn't resumed since then. There's some sort of dispute going on.
Yeah, they're both at the table talking. I wonder if, you know, I don't know who's played the shot. Me and Michael have got a little screen that we glance to now and again, and I don't know if there's been some kind of foul dispute or something. We'll keep you posted on that. Billy Thorpe on table 1. He's got to play a neat little shot to get on the green 6. Yeah, so over on table 2, Albin's just got ball in hand, so there's obviously some kind of foul dispute.
I do know that in a match earlier today, Gomez was given, not quite a warning, but a word was had with him by Viv Rusko, the referee, who's also the ref for that match there, and it was just about sort of standing in a way that was distracting, and he was doing something with his cue, and I think he was filing it with sandpaper, so it may be some follow-on from that. I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear more about that later in the day. Billy Thorpe has a good chance here to close to 3-2. He's such a battler, such a scrapper. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. He's a very good pool player as well. Flying the American flag here, which I know he's really proud to do after the only other US player, Chris Robinson, went out in the opening day. And flying it well. Billy Thorpe was 3-0 down against Alex Kazakis. Could have gone 4-0. But now he finds himself just 1 behind at 3-2. Albin Ocean has won that rack over on the other table, so he leads Roberto Gomez 2-0. And the man from the Philippines not having a good day today at all. Got off to a flyer yesterday, but so far today he's played 2, lost 2, and behind early on in his 3rd match.
Yeah, the small incident on table 2 was Gomez kicked out of a ball and both players wasn't sure if it was a foul or not, and that's been resolved. It was a foul, so that's the small bit of breaking news, if it is any, on table 2.
Well, it clears it up anyway, and Gomez is sitting in his chair there. We can see it on our monitor here, and he looks very displeased about things. He's given a big smile now, but I'm not sure how real that is. Certainly shows his emotions. He did a lot of that in the group final last night against Naoki Oi, particularly after missing that 9-ball that would have swept him through to the winners group at his first attempt. Alex Kazakis then, still ahead here as he breaks off in rack 6.
Nice cue ball control off the break. Stops it in the middle of the table, and the old blocker comes and sits in front. Look at the pink 4. Here she comes. So he will be playing a push out. And he was 3-0 up in this match, let's not forget, and he's handed Billy Thorpe a few lifelines to get back. We're on table 2. Something is still going on over there. There's still some kind of issue. I mean, Albin Ocean is smiling, so maybe that is the issue.
Not seen much of that this week.
Well, it is day 6. Albin Ocean. He hasn't qualified. He's still in the event, but he's created his own story. He was here from day 1. It's day 6. On day 7, his sister comes into the group. Will we see a brother-sister battle here on table 1?
I asked Jasmine about that earlier, actually, and she says she's not even thinking about it yet. I got the sense it wasn't something she particularly wanted to happen, but that if it does, they'll both just have to get on with it and try to approach it as much as possible like any other match. Hard to do, though.
So Kazakis pushed out into the jump. Sometimes we do see this. Full table jump shot, otherwise known as going airborne in the trade. Lovely shot from the former world number 1. Goes out airborne, controls the cue ball lovely, and he's got a shot at this 2-ball.
Yeah, literally could not have played that any better. This needs a bit of care though, and that's why he's taken his extension. You're allowed 1 of those every rack, going beyond the 30 seconds and having a full minute.
Albin Ocean is at the table on table 2, and he looks in good position. He lost his opening match to Mark Beisterbosch 5-3.
And then won his second against Kasper Matikainen. So if he wins this one against Gomez, as Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad in terms of qualifying for the semi-finals. I added that line, by the way. Meatloaf never said that last bit.
Yeah, one thing Albin's not lacking this week is table time. Nice shot there from Kazakis, found the top rail. That gives him automatic position onto the 7. It's always nice when you're the first player to get on the hill.
Yeah, and this hasn't been entirely straightforward. This always fills you with much more confidence than when you just break them nice and they split easily and you run out with no problems. When you've had to do a bit more work for it, certainly fills you full of confidence and belief.
overall, I think Alex looks good at the table, and I think he's up for the job this week. I think he wants to come here, and I think he wants to make a statement. You know, he gets a lot of stick in the media, you know, about the Mosconi Cup and that World Pool Masters final, and when you keep getting reminded about things like that, the only way to get people off your back is to come and win a tournament like this.
Early days, but he's certainly going about it the right way at the moment. Alex Kazakis was 3-0 up. He got pegged back to 3-2, but he's taken a crucial 6th rack, and he's first to the hill at 4-2. More to follow.
He's going to the bottom cushion, maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Evolution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith range of ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
And welcome back to Saturday afternoon in Milton Keynes, Group 6 of the Predator Championship League. Just to update you on what's happening on the other table, Albin Ocean going very nicely, 3-0 up against Roberto Gomez, and Gomez not in the best of form. There's been a little bit of unpleasantness, 1 or 2 words have been said there. He's not going to be feeling any better after seeing Ocean fluke the 7 ball in the 4th rack. And Ocean is 2 balls away now from leading 4-0 there. He's potted a really good 8. And should get the 9 as well. A little bit of work to do. The cue ball's gone close to the rail, but Ocean will still fancy potting it for a 4-0 lead. So he's 1 ball away from the hill. Alex Kazakis is already on the hill here after a very solid rack 6, putting him 4-2 up against Billy Thorpe. But it's the man from Ohio who's smiling as he comes to the table to break off in the 7th.
So Billy makes the wing ball. And he has a thin snip on this one. I think he's going to play the cue ball off one rail into the 7.
Lovely work.
Yeah, just got to be a little bit careful now with this green 6. That's going to pose, well, a little bit of a problem. So he's going to want to just come past the 6. Yeah, I think this looks fine. Good shot, Billy. That was the key shot there, just making sure you don't go behind the 6. And now he's going to need some form of angle on the pink 4, because from the pink 4 he's got to get over to the other side of the table, because the purple ball is next. Needs an angle. Yeah, that's a nice shot. It could have gone wrong, that. It was a very tricky little shot. Well played. This is what Billy's been doing since he's been here. He's been grinding away. He's down 4-2 to the former world #1, and he's an experienced player now. He's played in Mosconi Cups for Team USA, and he's experienced real pressure. There's no more pressure than playing in the Mosconi Cup.
And he's played in all of the last 4 now. Twice on the winning side, as the Americans finally stopped the rot after losing 8 in a row. Was so disappointed with the way the week panned out, though, in Coventry in December. Didn't really perform. You could say that for most of the American team, though. He's performing well here, though, because he's making short work of the 7th rack. And still punching at 4-3 down. He made a point about the Mosconi yesterday, actually, Carl, when he was in here, and a lot of the matches they lost in that 11-3 defeat back in December were hill-hill finishes, and he was pointing out that the Americans kept losing the lag because they're not used to it. That's more of a European thing. He says they do a coin toss over there. Now, he wasn't making it as an excuse. He was saying it's something that the American team actually need to practice. But can you practice the lag?
Well, I mean, you can practice it in the practice room, but the table's always going to play a little bit different. I think it's just one of them things where, I don't know, you just lag the ball, don't you? There you see Mark Bijsterbosch from Holland practicing. 2 practice tables downstairs in the players' practice room, so...
Can he be a Mosconi player in the near future, Bijsterbosch?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Europeans, and you know, he's in this event, it's a points event, so it's down to himself. You would think he would struggle getting a complete wild card unless he went on a complete rampage and won World 9-Ball Championships and World Masters, let's be honest.
I think he'd have a chance of making the team then.
Yeah, I think we'd. I think the captain would be looking then. Going back to the lag, though, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Team USA didn't lose because of the lag. Let's just squash that thought straight away. But I don't know. You just lag off, don't you? If you land on that top rail, you break. Simple. The clue is don't miss any balls.
Well, it's like Joshua Filler said about this format before he had to pull out because of the COVID test. He said, look, it doesn't matter what the format is so long as you win every match.
The killer, Joshua Filler, should have been here. One of the most exciting players the game has got to offer. Plays super fast. Phenomenal potter, phenomenal shot maker. Of course, he's the US Open champion. Former World 9-Ball champion. Still a baby, really. 20, 21, 22. Unfortunately, positive COVID test, he couldn't be here. Kazakis scratches. What a mistake that is. Such an easy safety shot. Shouldn't be going nowhere near the corner.
Yeah, and it's funny, isn't it? We were saying earlier when he was zipping along, winning every rack that was coming his way, that things were going for him and he was having the little bits of luck, and all the mishaps that were taking place in matches were on the side of his opponents. And it's just turning a little bit now. So what a chance now for Billy Thorpe. He's won his first 2 matches. He's got a chance to go hill-hill here. And if he does, he'll be breaking in the last rack.
Yeah, it's unforgivable at this level. He had such a good safety chance there. A wall of balls to land behind, and now he's got to sit in the dreaded chair. Albion Oceans firing on. He wins a quick match over there. There's a bit of controversy in that match. I'm sure that will unfold as the day goes on.
Yeah, it did look to be all smiles there at the end between himself and Ocean, and also the referee, Viv Rusko. Ocean will actually be staying on that table. He's due to play Billy Thorpe there next. So unless there's a bit of a reworking of the schedule, he'll have to wait just a little longer. Basically mean Thorpe will have played 3 matches in a row at that stage, because this is his second in a row on this table.
Next match on table 1 will be between Baith Bosch and Kazakis, and joining myself in the com box will be the Terminator, Niels Fayen. Always nice to get Niels' insight into the game, and of course we can maybe ask him some questions about the format, the arena, and
exploiting it to the full, and a great chance now to make it 3 wins out of 3, which will be in total contrast to the way his week has gone. He started slowly in all of the previous groups he's been involved in, all 3 of them. In each of those occasions, he's only had 1 win after 3. So today could still be 100% at the halfway stage of the round robin section. I think apart, obviously, from Oy, who won the group, Thorpe was probably happiest of all with his day's work. Started to play well in the evening session. Almost got to the final. He's talking about playing a tournament in Alabama next week, but he was saying that that depends on how he does here. If he's still involved in the final day, he won't get back in time to the States to play in that. But I'm sure it's a price he'd be happy to pay to be involved in the winners group. He's certainly heading in the right direction. He's got the break on the hill.
You know, all Kazakis can do is ball watch. Where do the balls end up? And unfortunately for Kazakis, Billy has an open shot. This is a bit of a pool player's thing. You know, it's hill. Your opponent breaks off, runs the table, and you're fuming. Didn't get a shot. This happened, that happened. But every single pool player has had a break and run when they've been on the hill. It's just part of the game. All Kazakis can do now, well, is watch on.
Yeah, much harder to take if it's in a big Euro Tour match 1st to 9 or US Open 1st to 11, because then you've battled away maybe for a couple of hours to stay in contention. You get yourself to the hill and then don't have the chance to do anything about seeing it through. But it's still got to hurt, even in a much shorter match like this, race to 5.
Yeah, and the 7 ball is going to be the last ball before the 9, and that is sat absolute wonderful. So if Billy gets on the green 6 perfect, it's pretty much over. So key shots coming up. It's hard to see where this could go wrong. Just playing devil's advocate, this needs a little bit of care, and then from the 5 to the 6, because you don't really want to be landing straight on the 6. Played a bit of a strange shot there. I thought he'd have landed a little bit shorter and kind of swung the cue ball round, but we'll see how he handles this. As long as he's got angle, he's fine. Key thing here is don't land straight on the 6. Oh, this is perfect, Michael. I think this one's over.
Yeah, and he looks like he's really relishing it now, growing into the task as the week goes on. He's already had one hill finish today. He won that against Mark Bijsterbosch. 5-3 again, or 5-3 then, against Mieszko Fortunski. So they've all been close, but they can be as close as you like, so long as you keep winning. And that's what Billy Thorpe is doing today. Don't forget, he was 3-0 down. Kazakis had the break in the fourth rack. But when Thorpe won that, everything started to turn around. Even then, Thorpe still had to come back from 4-2 behind. But he joined Kazakis on the hill. And now, with a break and run in the final rack, he's won the match. 3 out of 3 for Billy Thorpe. He's already on the brink of a semi-final place once again in the group. He's beaten Alex Kazakis by 5 racks to 4. Kazakis will be straight back on here against Mark Bijsterbosch.